Hi, my name is Chad, and I teach environmental science at Eastham Charter High School in Little Rock. This summer, I was placed at the Little Rock Port Authority for my Strive experience. My main project with the port was to research wetlands mitigation banking options for the port. As a land development company entity, they operating in and near wetlands, they are required and are under Section 303 of the Clean Water Act, which is a no net loss of wetlands ruling. And so my task was to see about the possibility of designating certain types of land on the port as a wetlands bank to fulfill the requirements of the Clean Water Act. And so it was very much a learning experience for me, in which I interacted with lots of different people from different backgrounds. And I was able to share my findings in a meaningful way with Marsha and Brian in the port. In addition to that, I got to see how the role that the port plays in the movement and shipping of goods along the Arkansas River and on the railroad here in Little Rock. Spent time on a tugboat with the tugboat captain as he showed us how he moves and logistically moves barges and switches them out. We also got to spend some time on a train, which is every kid's dream, I think. Moving carts from different businesses and involved there, and see the role that the port plays in the service they provide many of our industries that are important to Arkansas. Finally, I got to go into some of these industries, which was really fascinating. Such a diverse group of businesses that call Little Rock home, precisely because of the services that the port provides. From my experience, I created a 5-week lesson around wetlands mitigation. My students were given this scenario that you see on your screen here, where they were placed in groups and were charged with restoring a wetland. Their task was to analyze the soil they were given, to choose what they were going to add to it, and to build a wetlands in a bottle. And then they were to present their wetlands to the Army Corps of Engineers, and share a report on how their wetlands was benefiting the port. And so it was a fascinating 4-week lesson that involved these components that you see here. The semester began with a survey on the third day of school on August 7th. So that was kind of the pretest. That wasn't the pretest, but that kind of sets up the whole thing. And so at the beginning of the year, I do an assessment that was given to me by Strive, where it assesses students' attitudes about science, technology, engineering, math. And so I gave my students that. And then at the end of the semester, you see number 7, the semester reflection. I modified about 6 questions from that survey based on their initial responses and gave them those same questions in addition to their post-assessment in this Strive lesson. The purpose of the survey at the end was to see if there were any changes in understanding or attitudes towards STEM careers. And so here are some things that I learned from the survey and from my semester and Strive lesson unit. Students were asked, are you interested in pursuing a job in a STEM field? On August 7th, when students answered, out of 78 students, 8 said they didn't even, wrote in a blank, they didn't even know what STEM jobs were. And so that gave me what I needed to know. And so one of my goals this semester was to expose students to different types of careers, of which we did in different ways, including my Strive lesson. And so some results that I saw through the course of the semester included a slight improvement in attitudes towards the relevance of math and science for future careers. A second thing I saw was an increase in student awareness of types of STEM jobs. And then thirdly, 21 students specifically, high school seniors, opted to come listen and hear a presentation by a recruiter for Lexicon Inc., who shared with students careers right out of high school available to them at Lexicon Inc. here in Little Rock. One of those students asked me to write them a reference for a job. And so I was able to do that. So I believe I achieved my goals. And my favorite outcome in this is the one where they see the relevance of science to them. For me personally, some takeaways are that I got to learn about the Little Rock Port Authority. I was able to build some meaningful, lasting business partnerships with Lexicon, Delta Plastics, a couple of individuals outside of the port who helped me with my research on wetlands mitigation. These are all people who've spoken in my classes or have given me resources that have helped me in my classroom. Thirdly, I get to incorporate not just the science and engineering practices, but I incorporate workplace skills such as writing and students communicating with each other across a table, um, such as organizing data and using spreadsheets. So I've been able to incorporate those regularly because of this. And then finally, my experience in Strive is just inspiring me to become a better teacher. I do not think I would have come up with the lesson that I did had I not had this summer. And I love this quote. One of my students wrote, "My favorite lesson was making the wetland and learning how important wetlands are. Plus, I never grew anything before." And so I take that as a win, and I'm so thankful for my Strive experience. And so that was my summer, and I hope many teachers will choose to be a part of this because it has been invaluable to me in the classroom.